In this video, I'm going to show you how you can build a very advanced LinkedIn automation from scratch. Basically, this AI system will copy the tone and structure from the biggest creators in this space, like Matt Gray. It will use the same hooks, same writing style, and after getting the structure, it will use different AI models to write the LinkedIn post. You usually have to pay for different APIs like Perplexity, Cloud, but I'm going to show you a very simple trick that you can use to gain access up to 500 AI models with only one single API, which is very useful. So we're using different AI models for our posts, and at the end, this AI system will post it directly to LinkedIn. Make sure to watch this video until the end because there are so many things to cover. Now let's build a LinkedIn automation from scratch. We have to start the workflow with a trigger, and we have different kinds of triggers. For example, we can use a webhook, we can use a form, or the simplest one is trigger manually. As you can see, the shape of this node is different with the others. You can't connect any other node to the left side. You can only connect to the right side because this is the start of the workflow. And all I have to do to start the workflow is to click on execute workflow. To the right side, we started with a trigger, and now I want to add Appify. What is Appify? Appify is actually a scraper. You can scrape Twitter, LinkedIn, or different social platforms. In here, click on Get Dataset Items. Now, let me actually back. What I want to do is I want to scrape LinkedIn and collect so many LinkedIn posts by some professional people on LinkedIn that they have millions of followers. Some people like Matt, who is an OG on LinkedIn. I want to collect all their LinkedIn posts, and I want to use that as a feed to my AI agent, to use it as a source to write the LinkedIn post, to use the same hooks, same style, and everything. Now, all you have to do is you have to search Appify on your browser. On the search bar, write scrape LinkedIn and click on search. In here, choose this one, LinkedIn profile post scraper. I'm going to put the link in my school community. Now, let's click on try for free. The good thing about it is it gives you free credits, so you don't have to pay. Now, in the input section, in here, we have to paste the LinkedIn profile of the person that we want to scrape. You can give your LinkedIn profile account or any other person that you really believe is good. For example, I really believe Matt is one of the best people on LinkedIn. You definitely have to follow him. You definitely have to use the same style as him if you want to grow. So that's the reason I added him in here. We can get up to 100 results, which is great and all good. Let's click on start. As you can see, it's actually running for me. And as you can see, I have everything in here. Now, what you have to do is you should click on export in here, and we want to get data set. The data set is here. Just copy this back to n8n, open the Appify, just click on the node, and for the dataset ID, just paste this dataset in here. But here's the important thing. You actually have to use your API on Appify as well. So just click on API in this section and copy your API token from here. Just copy this back to n8n. I've already set up, the Appify account, But for you, since this is your first time, you have to click on create new credential. So just click on that, and in here, click on API key. And for the API key, paste that in here and click on save. As you can see, I was able to, add the credential. Now I have the credential. What I want to do is I want to get items. This should be data set. And for the limit, you can set this at 50, or even you can set this at 100. No difference. Let's actually set this at 50. All good. Now, what I want to do is I want to record everything on a Google Sheet file. So in here, search for Sheet, Google Sheet, and click on Append Row in Sheet. And what this actually do is it will add a row to your Google Sheet file. Let me go to the Google Sheet website. I've actually created a new Google Sheet. All I have to do is to set a name for this. For example, LinkedIn automation n8n. And personally, I want to only record the posts in here. You can even record the number of retweets, the number of shares, comments, everything, but I only need the post, so that's all I want. Let me set this in the middle, and let's back to n8n. To use Google Sheet inside n8n, we have to set up credentials. I've already recorded a video about how you can do this. Make sure to watch that video, set up your Google credentials, and in this way you can actually select it in here. For the resource, sheet within document, and the operation is append row. We want to add row. And if you added the credentials correctly, you should be able to see your Google Sheets in here. From this list, I select LinkedIn Automation n8n. And from the sheet, we only have one sheet. So just select that. It will map each column automatically. We have posts in our Google Sheet. You can see it in here. We were able to add many other sections, but this is enough for me. But this post need a value. What would be the value for this post? I want to add all the LinkedIn posts by Matt Gray to this section. So what I have to do is I have to execute the workflow. It will scrape the LinkedIn using Apify. It will, collect all the LinkedIn posts by Matt Gray. And now we can see all the value and data from the scraping in this section. For example, we have the username, Matt Gray, we have profile picture, the number of like, total reactions, so many data. If you want to add these, you can add them to your Google Sheet and set this value. But since I have only posts, I have to select the LinkedIn post by Matt Gray. And you can find it in here. I have to drag text in this section and put it in here as the value for the post. Now, if I execute the workflow again, you can see it will actually scrape LinkedIn. It will collect all the posts and it will add all of them to our Google Sheet. In here, we have up to 50 posts by Matt Gray, which is amazing. Now, let's add our second flow. What I want to do is I want to add a Google form, n8n form, in the trigger section on new n8n form. As you can see in here, this is something that you should be very careful. When I want to add n8n, form, you can see it has many other actions. You shouldn't select these two. We want a trigger. We want to start a new workflow. You can see the shape of the node is different. We add this trigger. Uh, Let me double click on this. You don't have to change the link or authentication. None is okay. For the form title, we can set this at LinkedIn automation. I don't need any description. I only want to add one element to my form. Basically, I want to have a topic element. It should be a text type, and that's it. Let me actually execute the form to show you how it looks. As you can see, we have LinkedIn automation. For the topic, all we have to do is to write a topic in here. For example, I want to write a LinkedIn post about, let's say, AI automation in businesses. For example, this is our topic. I can submit this. And now what I want to do is I want to give this data to my AI agent, and my AI agent will use this value on the form to write a very professional LinkedIn post for me. And basically what I want to do is I want to use Perplexity to do all the research for me, because Perplexity is the best for searching. And also I want to use Cloud to write the final post based on Perplexity's research. And since both of these are quite expensive, I want to use GPT-4 as my chat model. In this way, I can, save so much money on the credits. It's super affordable. I'm going to show you how you can set this up, and you don't need many APIs. We basically use Open Router. This is only one API, super affordable, and you can use it for different chat models. So this is the steps we want to do. But what I want to do as well is I want to get the data from here. So let me actually add a new node in here, sheet. Uh, I want to get rows in sheet. I want to change anything in here. I just want to get it because we started a new workflow and we have to get all the data. As you can see, get rows, credential is already selected. Let's select our LinkedIn automation n8n. We only have one sheet. That's it. Actually, this is enough. Now, let me actually remove this. And yeah, we can execute this again. Let's say, for example, AI, submit this. And you can see it already collected all the posts from my Google Sheet in here. That's very good. But here's the problem. As I told you, we're going to add an AI agent. We're going to use that to, interact with different chat models and tools. The problem with AI agents is they can only analyze one block. But as you can see in here, we have so many columns, so many blocks. So we have to turn all of these into one single block. Also, we want to make sure our AI agent can understand that these posts are separate. They are not one single post. This is very important. Now let me show you how we can do this. On my workflow, after getting rows and data from the Google Sheet, we want to aggregate all of them into one single block. So add aggregate node. We want to aggregate individual fields. For the inputs, you can put any name you want, for example, posts. And we can rename even fields. For example, I want to rename the output. This is not necessary, this is not important, but personally I want to have data set text as my output, but that's not much important. So we get the topic on our form. This is basically the trigger. We also got the data from the Google Sheet, from the scrape. We aggregate all this data, and right now we have one single block. Our AI agent can, understand this data, can have all of them. But the problem is we want to make all these posts separate, like this here. They are separate posts. Right now, after aggregate, the AI agent consider this as only one message. So, for example, we can put some lines between them to make sure our AI agent can understand that. What I want to do is I want to add a new node called edit fields or set. In here, the mode is manual mapping. Let me actually execute from here to get some data. For example, the topic AI. Let's submit that. You can see we aggregated all the data. We have data set underline text as our output. And now in the edit fields, I can actually drag data set text in here. Just drag it. We have data set underline text. What you should do, this is actually something that I figured out using ChatGPT. You have to set this as a string, and you can actually add this code in here. What does this code actually do? It will put some underlines between each message. So just consider this as we have a very giant message that consists of all our LinkedIn posts, and it will put all these lines between each one of the LinkedIn posts. In this way, our AI agent can understand they are separate messages. Because as I told you, the AI agent can only read one single block. Now we're good to go. Let's actually execute a step, and here we go. Don't worry about this prompt. Actually, this code is not a prompt. I'm going to share the whole workflow on my school community for free. So make sure to join my free school community. You can gain access to all of these. Now, in here, we have the structure, we have the tone for our posts, we have the topic in here. Now we have to merge these two and feed them to our AI agent. So let me put all of these in here. Let me put them here. We need a merge node. Merge. In here, change the mode to combine because we want to combine two different inputs based on their position, based on their order. And we have two inputs. If you have three inputs, you can set this at 3 or etc. Now let me back. Let me put the merge in here. Let's remove this. Connect your form to the input 1 and edit fields to input 2. Now, we have both, our Google Sheet and the topic in one single place. We combine them, and now we can feed our AI agent with these data to use them to process them. We actually need a good prompt in this section because we have to give the instruction to our AI agent to how to use these data. Also, I'm going to use different chat models. So AI agent should know for which purpose it should use, for example, which agent, which chat model. Personally, I want to use Cloud to write the final post and Perplexity to do the deep research for me. Uh, you can pay for different API keys, but this is not convenient and it's quite pricey. My suggestion is using Open Router. Basically, using Open Router, you only pay for one API key. You only have to pay $5, and you can gain access to tons of chat models. from different OpenAI chat models to Cloud, Perplexity, Grok, and so many things, which is very convenient, and it's for both text and image. How you can pay for API keys? Just go to the credit section. You can even pay with crypto. You can find a link to this section in the video description. You can start with $5. And then what you have to do is you should go to the API keys, and you have to create an API key in here. For example, let's say automation. It's the name. Click on create. Now I have an API key. All I have to do is to copy this. Now back to n8n. For the chat model, search for open router. You can see open router chat model. And for the credentials, I've already set up the credential, but you can click on create new credential and paste your API key in here and click on save. I've already set up that, so there's no need. I can select it in here. And for the models, now you can see tons of models in here. My suggestion is using GPT 4.1 mini as the chat model, because this is a very simple process. We don't want to spend so much credit for the API. But we're going to use Cloud and Perplexity in these sections. Those usually take more tokens, more credit. But for the chat model, GPT 4.1 is quite cheap, and it do the job very well. Now, I want to connect two tools in here. The first one is actually Perplexity, and the second one is Cloud. If I search for open router in here, you can see there is no option for me. What we can do in this kind of situations is using HTTPS request. Let me back. I select the wrong one. HTTP. Yeah, here we go. This is definitely something you have to learn, because the number of nodes on n8n is quite limited. However, using HTTPS, you can basically connect to everything. You can automate everything. So this is the best skill you can learn when it comes to n8n. Let me click on HTTP request again. First thing that we have to change is the name and description. And this is very important because, for example, in our AI agent, when we say use Perplexity to do the research, it should be able to find Perplexity. So we name a name in here, Perplexity, and a description. For example, use Perplexity for the research. In this way, our AI agent can understand this is Perplexity, this is for the research, and you can do the same. Now, click on import CURL and go to the Open Router website. On the docs section, scroll down, and in here you can find chat completion, and it's a post method. Just click on this. Now, all you have to do is to copy this CURL and paste it in here. Click on import. And as you can see, it changed the method to post. It changed the URL to, chat completions. For the authentication, this is very important. As you can see in here, for the header section, I have an authorization parameter, and in here you have to paste your Open Router API key in this section. But the problem with this method is when I export this workflow and share it with you on my school community, you can gain access to my API key. Especially if you're working for a client, you don't want to expose your private keys. So what you have to do is to turn off these send headers. Make sure to copy the name. The name is authorization. The value is beer. and your token. So let me copy this. And now let's unselect send headers. We want to do it using authentication. So in this section, it was none. Change this to generic credential type. In this way, we can customize our credentials. And for the auth type, select header. So rather than, enabling send headers in this section, now we have an header off. It do the exact same thing, but now in here, we can create a new credential. On the name section, just paste authorization. And for the value, we have to write bear. Let me click on expression. You can see bear. And paste your Open Router API key in here to start with SZ. Just paste it in here and click on save. I've already added this, so let me close. Let me select this header of account 2 or account 1. And for the send body, so these two should be off, this should be on. For the body content type, it's actually JSON. But for the body, make sure you specify the field by yourself. So let me click on this. For the body parameters, the first thing that we need is the chat model. So just write model, and we have to paste the model name in here. Go to Open Router website. On the models section, search your model, for example, Perplexity. You can see Perplexity Sonar. Just click on this and copy this link here. Copy this from here and paste it in this section. Now click on add parameter again. In this section, let me back to the documentation. If I scroll down to the chat completion, we actually saw this before. As you can see, we have a model. For example, in this example, it's OpenAI GPT-3.5 Turbo. We already added our model. This is Perplexity Sonar. Now, the second thing that we have to add is role, which is user. And the third thing we have to add is the content. What is the meaning of life? This is basically the prompt we're using. In here, it asks what is the meaning of life? And the answer is, for example, the meaning of life is complex. When it comes to the role, all the time this should be user. But when it comes to the content, this will change. This will change based on our topic, based on different things. So we don't have a fixed value in here. I'm going to show you how you can do that. But when it comes to the role, it's always the same. As you can see, messages, this is the first array in our messages. So let me back to n8n, write messages dot role, and this is the first array in messages. So this is the way we specify the name. And if I add another parameter, let me copy this. This time, it should be content. So rather than role, let's change this to content. And now we have to specify their value. When it comes to messages.role, the value is user. Copy this and paste it in here. But when it comes to the content, this is depends on what's our inputs, our topic. So just click on let the model define this parameter. Just click on this and it will do it for you. You don't have to do anything. Now we're good to go. All you have to do is to back, copy this, and let's paste it. Let me connect this to, our tools. And this time, all we have to do is to change the name for this copy to cloud. We want to use, let me show you. Let's go back to the models. In here, search for cloud. I want to actually use the Sonnet 4. This is the model. Just copy this. Now just open Perplexity duplicate. In here, we have to change the name. Cloud is the name. Let me make this capital. And for the description, use cloud. Let me remove Sonnet. After research is done to, let's say, to write the final LinkedIn post, to write the final LinkedIn post. In this way, we specify that our AI agent should use this after research is done to write the final LinkedIn post. We have to specify this in our agent prompt as well. I'm going to show you. Another thing that we have to change is the model. In model section, change this to cloud Sonnet 4. We just copied this from here. As I'm seeing here, I've made a very stupid mistake. I put 0 in this section, but this 0 should be before role. This 0 should be before content. And I've made this mistake for both cloud and perplexity. So let me change this, because first we have to specify the array. The 0 is actually the first array, dot role. The same thing for here. Let's specify the array 0 and the content section of that array. Let me actually change this for perplexity as well. In here, scroll down, messages.content, and let's change this one, 0.role. Now we're good to go. In the last step, we have to write a good prompt for our AI agent. When you open your AI agent, it should look like this. Change this to define below, and you can see a user message in here. Also, I want to add a system message. What's the difference between user message and system message? When it comes to user message, we usually set all the data that we want our AI agent to use. For example, we get the topic from the form. Besides that, we have tone and structure on this Google Sheet. We want both of these to be used by our AI agent. So we're going to put these sources on the user message. So basically, user message is like a place to put all your resources. And system message is actually the actual prompt that we usually write. For example, use these files to write a LinkedIn post. But in general, you only need user message. You can write your full prompt with all resources in one single prompt. But I usually prefer to have both user message and system message. Let me actually add all the prompts in here. You can actually use ChatGPT. You only have to tell ChatGPT to write a user message and system message for you. But you can actually download this workflow from my school community for free. So after downloading that, you can have all the prompts in here. Let me add the prompts and we'll back very soon. Let's actually start with user message. Let me make this bigger. Your task is to create a viral LinkedIn post about this topic. In this section, we have to drag our form in here. Right now, my form doesn't have any value. I have to execute the workflow, and then I have to drag it in here as my topic. You also have access to a data set of successful LinkedIn posts that demonstrate ideal tone, structure, and hook patterns. And we have to actually drag and drop our data set in here. Our data set was from, aggregate, edit files, and get rows sheet. Um, After that, we have an instruction. We have a research phase. Use perplexity to do a deep research about the topic, summarize it. The second phase, we have a style phase. We basically check the dataset file to find the tone, hook, and everything. And in the last phase, we're using Cloud to basically write the final LinkedIn post for us. And in here, you can see the output format, write only the final LinkedIn post, no explanation, and that's it. Super easy. Also, we have system message, which basically mention these things again, but this is actually good because we can make sure, our AI agents can totally understand what we need. In here, we say the same thing, use perplexity, use cloud to write the final post, uh, use the same tone and hook as our dataset file, basically everything you want. This is a very simple prompt. We can make it more complex and more advanced, but that should be enough. Now, let me execute the workflow to add these values for the topic and data set. Click on execute workflow. For the topic, AI automation, I want a LinkedIn post about this topic. And as you can see, after the merge, it went to my AI agent. Let me actually stop this because right now it doesn't have the value. For the topic, let's drag our topic from form. This is our form. Drag topic in this section. And for the data set, which shows the pattern, we have to drag and drop this dataset text. Now let's execute a step. Let me actually back again. Let me stop this. Let's actually execute again. In here, AI automation. Click on submit. Let's back. After the merge, it sent the data to our GPT as the brain. Then perplexity to do the deep research. After that, data will back to GPT to process that. And in the last step, everything should go to the cloud to write the final post, and it will probably back to GPT as our brain. So probably 3 times it will trigger GPT. Yeah, this is the third time. Everything works very well. And as you can see, we have the final post in here. Now we can actually record this, post in a Google Sheet. We have Google Sheet in here. This time we want to append row in a sheet. So just select this. Uh, we have Google Sheet account. I've already created an account. Final LinkedIn post. This is a new Google Sheet. And in here I have LinkedIn post. That's it. Super simple. Let me select this. I've already set up my Google credentials. Sheet within document, append row. Select this new Google Sheet. And we only have one sheet. You can see LinkedIn post. Just drag output as the value for here. That's it. Super simple. Now let's execute this step. As you can see, we have the final output in here. If I open the Google Sheet, you can see the post in here. This post has some issues. For example, I don't like emojis or hashtags. I think Matt used these, but personally I don't want, or I don't want these kind of lines. I'm going to, play with the prompt to make this perfect as possible. And I'm going to share the final version on my school community. But now let me show you how you can make the process of posting on LinkedIn fully automated. To post on LinkedIn, we have to create a new workflow. And as always, the workflow starts with a trigger. So click on add a node. This one, I want to have a schedule trigger. I want every day at 1 a.m. it start the workflow. It trigger. Now in here, I have to get the LinkedIn post from my Google Sheet, from final LinkedIn post, this one. So just search for the sheet, get rows in sheet, select your file, final LinkedIn post. We only have one sheet. Just select that. Let me execute the node. You can see I got the LinkedIn post in here. Now, I want to add a limit node right after the Google Sheet because I only want to get one item and first items, not the last items. And after this, we can post on LinkedIn. Search for LinkedIn node and create a post. You have to set up the credentials for your LinkedIn account. I've already recorded a video about how you can do this. Make sure to watch that video and set up the credential for both your personal and organization account. Just select your credential, resources post, creation, operation is create, post as person or organization. This is really depends on you. With your personal account, you can create so many organization or company accounts, and you can even post with those company accounts. But right now, I want to post with my personal account. Select your ID, and for the text, we have to, use the Google Sheet. This data, LinkedIn post, just drag it in here. Now we're good to go. Let's actually execute the workflow and see what will happen. Now let me open my LinkedIn account. And as you can see, it posted in here, fully automated. I really hope you found this video helpful. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video. Cheers.